So we caught up with a couple of fellows here from Blizzard who worked on World of Warcraft, Mr. Pandaria, and we thought we'd start off this interview a little bit gimmicky because they're handing out these things. So I thought I'd see what my fortune has in store for me, and I'm gonna open this up. And well, it actually smells nice. And let's see. World premiere, Experience the Mists of Pandaria, cinematic live on Thursday 16th, 2 p.m. And well, over here in Hall 6. I guess that's not much of a fortune. I mean, you could plan that out, so it's not much of a fortune reading. But anyway, it's a big deal to sort of premiere the cinematics for a World of Warcraft game, and you usually do it here in Cologne. I think you've done it before here. And it's always a big deal. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, we're very excited to be in Gamescom. And, of course, we're very excited to reveal our new cinematic. The cinematic department does a phenomenal job on all of our introductions, and this is no exception. So I think fans are going to be blown away by what they see. It's a nice little teaser. It gets you a little bit of the backstory of what's going on and how Pandaria has come about, and then it shows you a little bit of the world itself. And it's beautiful. It's stunning.
Talking about Pandaria,
yeah.
Obviously, perhaps the main feature of the new expansion is that new world. And so what does it bring to the World of Warcraft?
Well, it's a beautiful world. The artists have done a great job. You as a player will go through and just see an amazing new brilliant, bright, vibrant world. Lush forests, amazing jungles, huge giant walls that block off the terrible mantid. You'll get to see the new pandas all through the world. It's stunning.
Anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, Pandaria is basically, it brings a sense of adventure and exploration and discovery. And, the Alliance and Horde taking their familiar conflict to an all-new place. And I think when they take it there, it's going to transform the place, and players will see the effects of their own influence in that conflict on this new land.
So how does sort of, World of Warcraft has been around almost forever, it seems like. How does sort of the experience levels of the players, how does that change how you want to create a new world or sort of design a new world that you're adding to the experience?
Well, I mean, so Mists of Pandaria, I think, is offering more endgame content than any of our prior expansions. We've really tried to have an unparalleled level of breadth and depth to that content. So there's all new modes of playing the game. Things like scenarios, where you can pick up a group, with just 3 people of any roles, hop right in, do it quickly. Challenge modes, where you can take your friends and work your way through a dungeon that's perhaps more challenging than the other 5-player dungeons that we have in the game. A harder mode for specific rewards and prestige if you can do it quickly. Pet battles, the black market feature, as well as expanding upon the additional things that we've always had in WoW. We have 18 raid bosses in the Mists expansion, which is, again, a huge number for an expansion. So I think we are, certainly offering a lot of content for the returning player, recognizing that, many of our players have been with us for a long time now, have max level characters, and that's what they're looking to do. At the same time, we continue to ensure the game remains accessible for new players who are just entering the genre or just approaching the game for the first time. I think some of our changes, like the overhaul to the class and talent system in Mists, it both offers increased choice and meaningful choice for the endgame player, but at the same time it makes it more accessible for someone who's picking up a class for the first time and trying to learn how to play that class. They're making fewer meaningful decisions as opposed to perhaps being overwhelmed with the multiple choices of the talent trees in the past.
It's kind of a strange situation because World of Warcraft is almost like the last surviving subscription-based. You buy a box and you pay a monthly subscription, and sort of you don't really have to get into that mode of free-to-play, sort of portioning out content. So you can let people sort of rush through content if you want to. But how do you sort of treat that? Because I think most free-to-play models, they want to sort of create that sort of little bit like traction to make players stay in the game a little bit longer and not just run through content. So how do you sort of?
As you said, we've been in the MMO business for quite a while now, and we're getting better at it. I think maybe. And the subscription model really works well. I mean, what we are trying to do is give you a great experience. And we're not tied into any other constraints other than let me make you have a great time. I want you to have as much fun as possible, whether you're going to play more leisurely or you're going to be on and focused on your raids or what have you. We're giving you all those kinds of options, and we have a lot of really talented people that are interested in trying to appease and please those folks that want the various different styles. So we're really not constrained by anything other than probably people like me that say we got to get things done, and people want to see the stuff. Other than that, we're just, let's be as creative as possible. Is it fun? Are we enjoying it? Is that cool? That's a great idea. Let's go with that. And just making ourselves happy, trying to make the beta players happy. That's what we're doing.
Speaking of the beta players, what's been the feedback, and what sort of areas have you sort of focused your work on the last few months on before launch?
Sure. Various different things. We just released the pet battle system about a month ago and got great feedback on that. We revamped the Jade Forest. That's the introductory zone where Alliance and Horde are in. We wanted to make that more impactful. We wanted to make you, the player, say, "Oh, I understand what's going on. I have a sense of this world in a much better way. I get why there's this conflict." So those are a few things that we've been doing. And then in terms of raids, Ian's been getting tons of feedback.
Yeah, we've been doing extensive playtesting on the beta servers of our raids and dungeons for the last couple of months, actually. And, feedback has been excellent. People seem excited about the fights, and we're excited for people to see them on the live servers. But at the same time, we're making adjustments based on what we see and what we hear from people, and making sure the fights are as well tuned as possible and as fun as possible when they go out.
Are you rolling out all the changes continuously, or will there be like a huge change when the game is sort of?
It's a very iterative process. As we react to feedback as quickly as we can. We release patches to the beta servers frequently that kind of reflect their own internal build creations process. And so everything is kind of piecemeal, but it's all leading towards the one final product that will have all of the changes, and hopefully will be as close to perfect as we can make it.
So with all this experience, one would think that it's just going through the motions after a few years. But sort of how do you prevent that, and or is it that just the way that the process is, that it's always something new that you have to focus on?
It's more like we're really we play the game ourselves, right? And so we're not satisfied with, "Oh, yeah, that's good enough." We complain to each other about, what are you doing there? That's not fun. I'm not enjoying that. That's too hard. That doesn't make sense. Why isn't it like that? We're very critical of what we do. We're constantly in each other's office and saying, "Why did you do that? I don't even understand what you're trying to do." And then maybe it's a great explanation. "Oh, okay. Well, you need to explain that better. So now I understand, why the raid is going in this direction, or what I'm supposed to be doing here." So we're constantly challenging each other. We're not satisfied. We're all gamers. We don't want to play crap. we want to play enjoyable games. So we absolutely stress that. We're working on that with each other all the time. We don't settle for okay. It's okay. That's not what we do.
And our process is one that we continue to improve upon. We obviously learn from lessons of the past, and so the process is relatively consistent. But the content that we're working on always offers new sources of inspiration, and the creative direction that we take with it, and the problems that we're solving on a design level change from really day to day almost. So that always keeps it fresh and interesting for all of us.
And we're just sort of approaching that final day. When it gets out, of course, your work isn't done then. It's going to keep on piling up all the way, and
lots of hot fixes.
Exactly. So, but when can players expect to sort of queue up and get their collector's editions?
Well, we have an announced date at the end of September. We're going to be doing worldwide launch events, so all across the world, various cities that'll be announced. Go to blizzard.com for future announcements. We're going to be saying all sorts of crazy stuff about what the cool things we're doing. That's all happening end of September, and you'll be able to be in the midst of Pandaria and explore that wonderful isle.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Why do we fight? To protect home and family, to preserve balance and bring harmony. For my kind, the true question is, what is worth fighting for?